Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. Chaps, I'm deeply sorry about
this is great.
Come on to talk about this serious show, Red Dwarf, on this serious show. Just how close are you two? Because I've seen pictures of you with your sort of appear to be sort of conjoined in one body with two heads out the top. How long have you known one another?
Since we met at school when we were 9, which was about
7 years ago.
1874, yeah.
That recently. Why the writing? I mean, what took you into... Because the strange thing about Red Dwarf is, well, not the strange thing, but the individual thing is that it's sci-fi, in a way, coupled with humour. Is that two obsessions in one for you?
I always think science fiction and humour are very closely related because they're both about ideas and
ideas.
ideas, yeah.
Yeah, well, that seems to have exhausted that vein of conversation.
Good question.
But did you start on Spitting Image? You're one of that mammoth list of writers.
No, originally we started up in Manchester in radio, and we wrote for loads of people, Bernie Clifton, Ken Dodd, Little and Large, Cannon Ball, and then we moved down to London to do Three of a Kind and Carrots Loop.
This is interesting because most people would say that, or imagine that alternative comedy was alternative comedy, but not that alternative comic writers could have written, say, for Bernie Clifton and the sort of mainstream comedy.
Well, we're not really alternative writers, really. I mean, alternative writers, the alternatives really were a bunch of people that played the Comedy Store and wanted to do anti-sexist, anti-racist stuff. We do, but we're not part of the alternative group.
How the dickens do you get started, though, in comedy writing? Do you literally sit down, craft some jokes or some scripts and send them off to some comedy producer saying, "Gives a job"?
That's
what
how
we
it was.
did.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Is it? And who said, "Yes, I'll give you a job"?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No, what happened at first was we just got... it wasn't very good stuff we were writing. I think that happens to everybody who starts off. You always think it's brilliant, and it's not. And it takes you about... Johnny Spate says it takes you about 2 years to get the rubbish out of your system before you can actually start writing.
But you see, lots of us sit and watch, you know, situation comedy, for instance, gets a very bad name. Yes, there are very, very good situation comedies. Yes, there are very, very bad situation comedies. And if you sit down and you've got a sense of humour and you watch a bad situation comedy, you think, I could do better than that. Are you saying that actually it is incredibly difficult to do better than that and bad situation comedy is probably better than most of us could do?
Oh, no, I mean, I think anyone can write a bad situation comedy. I don't think it's, you know, that's not hard to write a bad situation comedy. All you need is a plank kitchen and a sofa.
And some cardigans.
Some cardigans and a lot of bland lines. I mean, that's the art of writing bad situation comedies. Having said that, though, writing good situation comedies, like Fawlty Towers and Blackadder and Porridge and Steptoe, that's very, very difficult.
Athene Seiler, that old comic actress who died at over 100 relatively recently, once wrote a book called The Craft of Comedy. Are there rules of thumb that come into play when you are writing situation comedy? Yeah. And well, what are they?
Oh.
I don't need to give away all your trade, but I mean, there are people sitting out there who are thinking, I'll never get started.
Well,
what would you say?
There's things like structure is vital, and it's more important to do lines which come out of character rather than jokes. That's one rule. Another rule is where you say something funny, you don't say the obvious thing, like that person is dead, you would say you're going to make balloon animals out of his intestines. I mean, that's, you see what I mean? You
You're
say the
looking
obvious
for
thing.
witty euphemisms.
Yeah.
But also, you've got to craft your characters to make the extra humour in your lines. So how do you come up with these weirdos like Crichton and
Well, actually,
Cat?
Rimmer and Lister are actually based on the two of us. They're our worst aspects, or in Rob's case, his best aspects.
Yeah.
And it's based, you know, just on us. And the whole of Red Dwarf is actually, you know, is taken from real life, really. It's just perverted and changed.
Like the driving test that we just
Like the
saw,
driving
which
test,
is exactly
it's just an exaggeration of the real thing.
You both make Hitchcockian appearances in your shows, and we see you creeping on, literally creeping on and creeping off from time to time. Is this the latent performer in both of you?
No, we just did that once, because we couldn't get any extras.
It just feels like more time
No,
than
just
one.
once, yeah.
Really? Because isn't there really inside every writer somebody who longs to perform but is too nervous and therefore is vicariously being a performer through his characters?
Yeah, I think there's something in that. I think, yeah, you're right, because you're sort of inarticulate in other ways, I think. That's partly why you do it.
But more powerful. Is there a feeling of power in being a writer? Well, you have total control, don't you?
Well, no, because, I mean, in a way, the show comes down to you, and if the show's no good, you feel it's always because of the script. And if the show's great, you feel that's terrific. That's the performance performing brilliantly.
Yes.
The
no way.
pleasure aspect.
It's just like being a gardener. If a plant dies, it's my fault.
That's
If it
it.
grows, it's him upstairs. Who's doing it
Yeah.
quite well. The book Better Than Life, is that the sort of sequel? Are we going to see Better Than Life on the screen?
Well, we wrote the first book, Red Dwarf. What's it called?
Infinity. Welcome to Careful Drivers.
Memorable.
Yeah, memorable book. And that did really well. That was the bestseller, was in the charts for 6 weeks. And this is the sequel to that. The books kind of run parallel to the TV series. It's not just the scripts with a few he-saids in it. It's a parallel story.
And when are we seeing Red Dwarf back? We're getting a second series.
Yeah, we're working on it at the moment. We're actually, this is our day off. We've got one more show to record down in Shepperton Studios. And it's coming out, I think, on Valentine's Day next year.
Oh, wonderful. So it's all done bar one and it's in the can.
Yeah.
Great. Nice to talk to you both.
Nice to talk to you.
Rob and Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.